everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi, hello. Welcome to the start of another weekend vlog, my friends. 'Tis the weekend. 'Tis Saturday. I am still in a fair amount of pain. That's fun. I love that so much. I love when my leg is in pain. But I'm here. I'm in an okay mood. And today I'm gonna go over to my friend's house for a bit, a little later, just for a little hangout, a little cheeky chill hangout. But anything else? What's going on? I don't know. Tomorrow I would like to hopefully be able to go and do the return that I planned to do last weekend, because I now have more things to return to Old Navy. So it's like, I can make it worth it. I can make that trip worth it now. Worth it. Not just returning one thing, I'm returning 3, which is fun. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow. That's the plan anyways. Driving sucks because it is my right leg that's in pain. I cannot drive for more than like 15 minutes. So that's why I'm like, okay, I gotta plan my trips accordingly. We're here, we're queer, we're trying to make it work. Anyways, my friends, it's the weekend. I do not know what I'm going to be reading this weekend. It is technically still the Trans Rights Readathon until Tuesday, I think, whatever the 31st is. I think it goes till then. I could be very wrong. I ended up reading The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs this week, and I fucking loved it. I read it all in one. I loved it so much. That one gets like 4.5 stars from me. So good. I had such a great time with it. Oh my God. So love that for me. So the other ones I could keep reading for the transfer. Everything is balanced so precariously right now. I pulled another book off my shelves that I could read for this Trans Rights Readathon, because of course I fucking did. But I could read This Princess Kills Monsters by Rye Herman if I wanted to, or I could read The Bound Worlds by Megan E. O'Keefe, which our main character is trans. And that would also not only give me another book off my TBR, but it would also finish a series, which I have not yet done, in 2026. I also have this library book that I really should read. I feel like this would be a quick one. Unending by Abilise Houseman. I don't think it would count for the Trans Rights Readathon, but it would be getting another series done. So who's to say? I have so many other things around me that I could be reading. I kind of want to read this too, the new fantasy that I got last weekend. I also want to read, where did it go? So many things around me. Entwined by Hannah Long, which is her newest book release. I don't know. We're gonna see what I end up reading. I also need to do some work on Sage's story this weekend, because this is the last like stretch of March. So I want to make sure that I'm closing it out well, even though yesterday I completely forgot to do my hour, but that's okay. I remembered at like 1 a.m. and I was like, fuck, it's too late now. That's fine. I did a lot of work the day before, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see what I end up reading, what I end up doing. I also have another book that's currently next to you, which is J.L. Richardson's, you can see the edge of it, J.L. Richardson's Gutter Child. That is going to be the last book that I try for my TBR side quest as well. So I could read that one as well, or try it at least for that TBR side quest that is crazy. That is the weekend, my friends. So excited. Next week is spring break for my kids, so I do not have teaching in the evenings. I've got some plans for that week, which is gonna be very exciting. And I might be going up to the cabin next weekend for Easter, depending if I can drive, because that is an hour and a half roughly. And if I can't drive more than 15 minutes, an hour and a half is not gonna be fun. So we shall see if my leg sorts its shit out in the next few days, but we shall see what ends up happening for the long weekend. I'm just gonna hang out this weekend. It's gonna be very chill, very easy. I got some bread that I royally fucked up yesterday. I think my bowl was sitting on my scale wrong, and I ended up adding so much flour. So I ended up adding a little bit more water, and the dough was like a fucking rock, but it still rose. And I cut it in 2, so now I have 2 tiny loaves, and I just finished baking the second loaf. And like, they look like little hockey pucks, but they did rise. So I don't know if it's gonna be good bread. I need to let them cool and we'll cut into it. But sourdough escapades are always happening around here. So hopefully I have some sort of bread. I'm still obsessed with Pokemon Pocopia, currently have it on the TV. And I cannot wait to play that game. So really, that is the incentive of me finishing my first draft of Far Horizons, is the ability to then get a Switch 2 and play that game. We all know that if I had that game right now, that the writing would just fly out the window. It would not get done. So we are getting it done first, and then get the fun game afterwards as a treat. A very expensive treat. Anyways, I'm gonna see what I want to read. as I'm kind of hanging out and chilling here. And then in a couple hours, I'm gonna go over to my friend's house because it's almost 4 p.m. And yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend. Welcome to the vlog, my beautiful friends. I'll catch you a little later. Hello, my beautiful friends. Happy Sunday. Technically Monday because it's almost 2 a.m. Hi, I am here with Freya playing with her favorite toy, which is the fish on a string, as we usually do as our nighttime routine. But I thought I would hang out, and it's the most boring visual to watch her play because she does a lot of just sitting there stalking something for 10 minutes and then will pounce. It's not like you need to see that because it's just a lot of her just like sitting there for 10 minutes and then she'll pounce. But anyways, my friends, hi. I'm trying to sit you up against my little sloth here, but he's not holding you very well. It's been an interesting weekend, my friends. Actually, no, it has not. It has not been interesting at fucking all. I have done nothing. And you know what? I love a weekend like that. I really do. It is so enjoyable to just be able to sit on my couch and do nothing. It is my favorite thing. So yesterday, Saturday, I ended up going to my friend's house, Sophie and Tamsin. They hosted a bad poetry night, which was very fun. They made us dinner. It was delicious. Then we wrote some bad poetry, which was very fun. We also had a fun little quiz that was spawned by something in the group chat where we all humiliated ourselves. Oh, hi. I thought I was in frame. I'm not in frame. Where we all humiliated ourselves by revealing our knowledge and lack of knowledge of geography of North America, because we are Canadian. And Hannah's boyfriend is American. So we were naming provinces and territories, which is easy for the majority of us who grew up in Canada. And then all of us collectively got the Maritimes incorrect because nobody can remember where anything goes in the Maritimes. And then the states, the naming the 50 states and like putting them where they were supposed to go, terrible. Terrible. I can attest. I know like 9 of them. And that's just because I traveled there. No other reason. I was never taught anything about geography in the US. So, fun fact. But yeah, it was a really fun evening. Then I came home and did fuck all. And I realized Saturday I did not read or write. So today I was like, okay, Sunday, gotta read something, gotta write something. So I ended up picking up Unseelie by Ivalice Houseman, which is this here book, Unseelie. It is the second book in this duology, and I am 45% of the way through now. I decided to pick this up because I talked about it at the beginning of this video as an option. I was like, yeah, this could be a fun option to, 1, finish the first series of 2026, 2, finish this because my Libby hold is coming up and my library hold is coming up, and 3, just because I felt like I should. And I was like, I guess that's reason enough to read a book. I feel like I should. I had no want to actually pick up this book because of the story. I realized that I probably, if I had read this book entirely on my own, this series entirely on my own, without any recommendation from my friend Allie, I don't know if I would have picked up the second book after reading the first one. And I say that having rated the first one 4 stars. Why, you may ask? Because the ending of the first book was atrocious and totally turned me off the series. And I just didn't want, like, it didn't hook me in any way to, like, want to continue the series or anything. Because usually when it comes to YA duologies, 1, young adult, the age category, I have beef with it. No, I don't even have beef with it. I've just completely fallen out of love with it over the past 5-10 years of my life. Like, that is what I used to exclusively read. Now I'm just like, nah. Adult fantasy all the way, every day. I just wish that adult fantasy was as diverse and amazing and like full of incredible stories as YA was. Like, I want adult fantasy to catch up to how diverse YA fantasy is, because that is one of the places where you're going to find the most diverse stories. And when you're looking for something very specific to read, you're going to find it in YA 100 times more than you're going to find it in adult fantasy, usually. I was recommended this book by my friend Allie. I enjoyed the first one for sure. I really like the representation of the neurodivergency in our main character in that one. And it was a really interesting plot, and like the delineation of the story was fantastic and all that kind of stuff. And then the ending just completely ruined it for me. But I was like, yeah, I did commit to finishing this duology as one of my series this year. So I figured I should do that. And so I'm reading it. And it's not like it's a bad book. I am enjoying it. This one is, instead of just a single POV like the first one is, it is dual POV. So the first one, Unseelie by Ivelisse Hausman, follows a twin who is a changeling in this world. It handles the idea of changelings really, really well, because of course, like the myth of changelings, like the origins of mental disability and like neurodivergency specifically comes with a very heated history in the stories of changelings. Hold on. I'm back and my phone is gonna die, so we're gonna make the rest of this quick. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I think I was talking about an ending, but yeah, I am 45% of the way through that. I am reading it just to read it, but the story is good. The representation is good. I don't know. Like, if I was a lot younger, I feel like this would be right up my alley. So take that with a grain of salt. If you like YA fantasy, pick up this duology, because I think you'll really like it. And the representation is phenomenal, no matter how much it kind of annoys me. I.e., in the way that our main character's brain works, because it it does so much in not moving the plot forward. And as an author, that drives me nuts because I want the plot to move. But it makes so much sense because it's so realistic and it hits a little too hard. So, you know, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, read it. It's a good duology is what I'm saying. But yes, this week I have no piano. I've got some plans brewing for my evenings, so that'll be exciting and fun. But I'm really excited to have my evenings off to do some stuff. It's going to be fantastic. I also need to remember to do that. Yes. Okay. Total side tangent. But anyways, my friends, that is what I've been doing. And today I got home from Mom and Dad's and I got sucked into a TikTok rabbit hole of watching Pokemon live streams of people opening Pokemon cards, because that is all my TikTok For You pages now. Is Pokopia. It's people who are vendoring Pokemon cards at Pokemon card shows and live streams of people opening up Pokemon cards. The sound of the vendors when they do the thing. I love watching the vendor videos because they are always so sweet to little kids, and the little kids are always so excited, and that makes me like really emotional. And then like the community, like the Pokemon community seems so cool. Like, I know there's probably a bad side to it because there's a bad side to every fandom in this entire world, and those are the people that make it awful for other people. But like, from what I've seen so far, the community of Pokemon is just so lovely. So I'm 100% in. I did buy myself a pack of Pokemon cards off of eBay for like $4. So I'm in. I'm in. I'm making myself knowledgeable of this experience, and I'm in. I'm gonna start playing a game. I did find myself like a used copy of The Legends of Arceus. Is it Arceus or Arceus? I think it's Arceus for the Switch. So I'm gonna play that in the meantime once it arrives, because it's a physical copy of The Legends of Arceus for like $50, which is great because in Canada it is like $90 right now to buy on Switch. And eventually I will get Pokopia because I cannot wait. But I'm using my manuscript as incentive, as I've said many times. And I'm so excited about that because I did, like, after, like, as I was kind of involved in all these different streams and stuff, I had one on in the background of a Canadian, which is really exciting when it's a Canadian stream. And it was a smaller stream. There was only like 100 people in the chat. And it was just so enjoyable to be there and watch people like donate cards and packs to the stream and to other people who are in the stream and buying packs. It was just so cute and full of capitalism, as one does. She's being kind of cute, so I wanted to see if I could lower this somehow so you could see her. There we go. But yeah, that was my evening, and as I was doing that, I ended up doing some writing by hand in my journal. So we love that. For like, I wrote a scene in my journal by hand for Far Horizons, so we love that. Did some scene planning for it, and I got like probably 50% of the way through the scene, maybe, with like some big sections, just like something else goes here, you know. So happy about that. So still worked on writing today. I just need to lock in. That's really what I need to do. I'm going to leave this clip here because my phone is dying. That is the update. Read a little bit, like 170 some odd pages. Watched an egregious amount of TikTok tonight. And still obsessed with Pokemon. That's my new thing. So, welcome. And my cutie patootie over here is being very cutie patootie. Oh, she's just out of frame. You can't quite see her. She's being very sweetie. Anyways, I will catch up with you guys tomorrow for Monday. But yes, that is the update. Freya, Goose, what are you doing? Baby, your butt is off of your cat tree. Are you upset? Are you having a good day, Mrs. Little Fluffy Pants? Holy smokes. You got so much fur. Oh, constant entertainment with this one. Oh no, don't fall. Don't fall, baby. She said, no, Mom, I got this. Don't worry. I got it. See, I'm fine. Hello, friends. It's officially Monday, March 30th. Can you believe we're already at the end of March? It's crazy. I'm also casually looking outside because we're getting snow right now. I live in a snow globe. And I looked at the temperature for the rest of the week and it's barely gonna be 1-2 degrees with lows of minus 12. And that fucking sucks. It's April in 2 days. Where is spring? Hate it. Anyways, I want to pop in. I just filmed an update for my writing vlog that is probably going to be coming out on Friday for you guys because it's a March experiment, right? So we love that. Yeah, I've been kind of, I don't know. I have plans for this week, which is going to be interesting to balance with my 1 hour of writing, but I say this in my writing vlog, I want to continue that experiment into April where I'm working on an hour. I'm working on an hour of work every day. I'm working for an hour every day, I should say, that I can on my creative work, at least an hour. It has been really interesting and I feel very reflective and I'm just oh God. And I'm in this mood right now because I've been watching a lot of vlogs on YouTube and one just popped up that was someone who is 23 and just got a literary agent because they queried their book, and it makes me feel like I know rationally that I'm not behind, because you can't be behind in your own life, but seeing people get what I want to be achieving, even though I'm not in a place right now where I can actively be working towards achieving that because I don't have a fucking book to query, it's always a little weird because you're wow, I'm so behind. Everyone is ahead of me in this game that I've made up in my own brain. And it's wacky, living in a brain like this. But yeah, I just have to keep reminding myself that it's impossible to be behind in your own brain. I'm 28 years old. I'm not old in any sense of the word. There are people who get book deals in their 60s and their 70s. There's always time to do what you love. And there's always going to be time to achieve what you want to achieve. You just have to do it yourself. You just have to put in the work, I just have to keep reminding myself that. I want to be working on this story, but it's hard. I don't know what it is with this one. It just doesn't want to come out of me, which I miss having a draft just spill out of me. I was reflecting on a second story the other day, and the fact that one spilled out of me in 25 days, fully formed, almost fully formed. Obviously, I did a lot of edits on that one, but that was crazy. And that's happened a couple times with a couple different books. It happened with my middle grade that I worked on a number of years ago, spilled out of me in 17 days, but I haven't had that urge to write constantly, words pouring out of me type of experience in a really long time. The past 2 books I haven't had that. So, it's just I was reminiscing, going, man, that was a nice time to be alive. And now I'm just yeah, it's pulling teeth every time I sit down to write this fucking book. But it's coming. It's getting there. We're at 26K. So slowly but surely we're eking our way forward with Far Horizons. So yeah, it's been really nice to do that monthly experiment and to now know that I want to extend that into April as well. So if you guys want to see an April vlog of me doing that as well, I'm so down, because that'll keep me accountable and I won't just give up a weekend because I'll be no, I have a vlog to film. I can't come back and say I haven't done anything for a week. That'd be lame. I should probably do a vlog. If you guys want to see that, let me know down below. Anyways, it's Monday. What do I want to do today? Because I don't have to go teach. Oh my God, I got some plans. I got some plans to do, a couple things that I need to do, but I'm also going to get my hour of work done on Far Horizons. And I would also like to finish Unending tonight. So I have like a couple hours left on the audiobook or something, 3 hours maybe. So as long as I have 3 hours to carve out of my evening, 3 hours of my evening for that book, all the other hours of my evening can go towards the project that I'm working on and also Far Horizons book 1. And also I need to edit this vlog, but I've like edited up until this clip, so we should be okay because it is a really short vlog because I just haven't done anything this weekend. I feel very just like there's nothing to talk about. Like I haven't read any books, I haven't done anything interesting that I can really share with you because I'm doing a writing vlog that is, separate from this. And I haven't done anything. Like I just sat on my couch and scrolled TikTok for so many hours. So like you're getting relatable, Jen, this week. That's all I do sometimes. I also don't know where Freya went. She was here a second ago. And she probably went in and went up into her throne in the bathroom. Let's actually go see if we can find her. Because that would be fun. It would be fun. It would be a fun experiment. A little field trip to find my child. Goosey baby. Oh, you're not on top. You're down there. Why are you sitting in front of your litter box, baby? Huh? Why are you sitting there? Surrounded by some laundry. Hey? Hi, beautiful. What's up? You tiny weirdo? My goose. You have something to say? Oh, you have something to say? You meowed, and it's not going to be caught by this microphone. Hey, come here. Say that one more time. You have something to say? She says maybe, Mom. You want to be part of this vlog? You're such a sweet girl. I love you so much. She has opinions. And all these opinions include, Mom, I want another churro. Churro. And Mom, it's snowing outside. Oh my God. Anyways, my friends, I just thought I'd pop in and do a little update on this here weekend vlog. And Freya and I will catch you a little later. Oh. Hi, beautiful. Okay. She really likes this thing. She says, this is a nice thing. It's fuzzy. Oh, okay. You're so cute. How is anyone supposed to get anything done with you around? You're just too cute. Anyways, friends, I'll catch you a little later. I'll keep you updated as to what I end up doing today. Hello, friends. It is now much later. It is midnight 30, if you will, between Monday and Tuesday, and I have to get this vlog up for you guys, but I wanted to pop in with one final little update because this evening was very productive, but I did not get any more reading done for Unending. And I have a little lady coming in here. Hi, are you annoyed that I don't have any blanket for you? Come here. Here you go. Come on in. She says, I want to be part of this show too, Mom. I'm going to do some biscuits. Thank you so much, baby. Thank you for the massage on my bad leg. That actually feels really great. Feels nice. Keep doing that. Oh man, if only I could train her to go further and longer with that. It's a nice little random little mini massage. But this time she decides to pop herself in here and just be a little perfect weight on my knee. There, that's my good girl. I did no reading this evening. I edited this vlog up to this clip. I ended up working on that little project I have going on for this week. And I wrote like 2,600 words in Far Horizons tonight, which, was so nice. Put my headphones in, locked the fuck in, and the words were flowing. I found a new weird little flow state if I've written something by hand, which I did with this one. I wrote part of the scene by hand yesterday. So I took that and typed up what I had and then added to it because there were pieces that I was missing yesterday, or I decided to take the scene in a slightly different way, whatever. I added to it and I still haven't finished the scene, but it's like 2,600 words long, and like I fleshed it out a lot and I continued with it and added some things in, and I think it's a really interesting scene clue wise because it's not like my characters are really putting anything together directly in the moment, but there's a few things that like Sage figures out as she's like kind of inspecting some part of it, because this scene is an attack scene. So it is the very first attack on a person that this creature has done, and so they are going to see this person because they get woken up in like before dawn hours in the morning for a number of different reasons. 3 of the Duskwalkers end up going to this person who is now injured, and this person is so fun and I cannot wait to play with them a little bit more because I have a soft spot for absolutely fucking ridiculously large people.
as one myself, but like more. You know what I mean? I have a Furbolg type creature. If you know D&D, Furbolg. I have created Giantkin in my world because Furbolg is a copyrighted word. So I took the concept of Furbolgs and kind of like twisted it a little bit to make them Giantkin in my world. So they're just really large people who are like kind of furry. Some of them have really long floppy ears, you know, all that kind of a thing. They're akin to like Goliaths and giants, and like they're in that lineage of things, but they're not quite. They're not quite, because they are furry, which I think is really fun. They're like giant bunny cow creatures. And I love them so much. But I have a Giantkin that walks around Aramount all the time from A Second Story onwards. You see them in so many different situations. Callian, they are such a fun character to work with. And I know so much about Callian, but like nothing is shared about them in the books. And I think that's so fun because they're just such a mysterious little person with a bow tie, and they just appear and go around their day. They have such a great time. They're so content, and it's like the image of Callian to me is a little old man with so much joy in his face that you see at a local cafe, that just like sits there and is like just happy to be alive and will talk to you if you allow him to talk to you, will literally just talk your ear off. Callian is like that old man. And then I have another one that appeared in book 3 and A Favorite Fae, Kaylin, who is the apothecary that is friends with Mary. And I love Kaylin so much. She was so fun to write. Again, I don't know what it is. I love a person that is so, so, so tall that like buildings aren't working for them. Like, you can see it also in A Little Luck with Kier and her entire family, because she's half orc, half elf, half orc, and her father is pure orc, and then her brothers are also taller than her. So like her oldest brother, Karuto, he is like one of my favorite scenes I've ever written, is the scene where in A Little Luck, Kier comes home and sees Karuto in his little workshop, and he's like working on a wooden like miniature essentially, and he doesn't really know what it's going to be. He's just playing with wood because he's like a woodworker, he's a detail worker. It's this 7 foot plus tall beast of a man with tusks and like all this kind of stuff, with the tiniest little spectacles on the tip of his nose, and he's like curled over and like working on this tiny little horse. It ends up being a horse. And I love that scene so much because it's so endearing to see really large people in instances like that, because it just reminds you how much the world is not created for everybody. You know what I mean? And then on the exact opposite side of things, I love working with like my characters like Della and Nima, who are gnomes, and I love my dwarves. I love all of like the really small people as well. Like the difference between having, especially like A Little Luck is just in my head for some reason because Kier is such a large woman. Like she's 6'6", like she's big, she's muscly, right? And then we have Nudge, her great hound. They're the family's great hound, which is essentially my take on a like greyhound mixed with a wolf hound. So a big motherfucking dog, right? An Irish wolfhound. You seen those things? They're huge. So it's like it's mixed. It's like that size of dogs, but like looks like a greyhound with that like kind of hair, just huge, right? Because Nudge is part of Kier's family, he doesn't seem that big when he's around them. He seems like a normal sized dog. But then when he's around other people, he literally is taller than Nima and Della, and loves them so much because he can reach their faces. And and they always have like food in their bag and stuff. So he like accosts them regularly in the square if he sees them. So it's like I love playing with size in this in my fantasy world, because as someone who is larger, don't go anywhere. She's bothered because I'm talking too much and gesturing too much, but I find so much irritation with how some of the world is structured physically, because a lot of the world is not meant for people my size. And really, it's barely even meant for people who are average size at this point in some instances. Like, there were lecture halls in uni that I could not sit in because I was too big. Like, my knees would have been crushed by the seat in front of me, too big, right? Like, it is just a world, like, I live in a world that just doesn't quite accommodate larger size people, right? So I'm like, what if it was even worse? You know, or what if it was the other way worse? Like, I just love playing with it. Anyways, this scene that I'm working on, that I wrote 2,600 words in today for Far Horizons, I have a giant kin, and their name is Sidaran. They are the beekeeper in Anchorage, and I didn't anticipate their personality coming off the page so hard, but they are this like when Sage and Lara and Ku, the three of them who are going to go see this crime scene, quote unquote, where this happened, this attack site, they walk up and Sage immediately is like, I didn't realize that this person was so large. Like, it took me a second to realize that they weren't standing, they're sitting, and they're taller than me sitting. And that's crazy because she's not a super small person. She's like an average sized woman height, like 5'8 ish, 5'7, 5'8. I know that's not average for a woman. Don't come for me. But like in my 6'1" head, that is an average size, okay? She's like, holy shit, this person is huge. And Sidaran is sitting on the forest floor, cradling their arm that has been absolutely fucking maimed. And they're so chill about it. They just are like, yeah, so let me tell you the story of what happened. And so I was walking home. I was going to go see my bees. It's like the energy that somehow channeled through Sidaran was the energy that Hosier gives when he's going off about bees in his concerts, in middle of concerts. You know what I mean? Like that is the energy that I somehow channeled. And like Sidaran is like this kind of like the way that they talk is a little bit of like a storyteller way of they talk. And it was really fun to play with because it's completely different from how anyone else so far has spoken in my books. So I think that's really fun. And I feel like they could have a like Southern accent almost or go full Irish. Like one of those things I'm like, oh, something here's fun about Sidaran, and I love it so much. And they're so chill. Like they're just like, yeah, here's my arm to the healer as there's like it's been slothed down to the bone and it's like this disgusting wound and it's weird Ku comments the fact that it looks like it almost has like poison in it or like necrosis or something, like it's off, but it's hard to tell because it's dark outside even with some magical lights around them. It's not like sunshine, so they can't quite see exactly what's going on with the arm, so they just kind of heal it and then afterwards they talk about it. But in the scene, like we have Sage who is a little bit squeamish, can't really look at wounds like that because obviously if you're not used to looking wounds that are down to the fucking bone, that is something that you would be very, very uncomfy with in general, right? So Ku is our healer. He has dealt with stuff like this all the time. He's very unfazed. Lara has seen injuries like this before. She's unfazed. Sage, phased. So she doesn't look at the wound. She asks Sidaran like some questions and then like goes and looks at this tree that Sidaran says that they hit this monster against. And so she's inspecting this tree. So what I'm doing in this scene is that I am kind of like laying the groundwork of like who Sidaran is, some interesting stuff about them. They're also joined by a couple of really drunk pirates because Sidaran was at the bar and they're coming home from the bar. So they are also toasted, but they don't seem very toasted because really large person takes a lot to toast them. And they weren't going like super hard at the bar. They were just having a good time with their friends. Their friends are fucking toasted because you try to go toe to toe with a being who's over 7'5", right? Like you're gonna be toasted. So we have some drunk pirates around who are starting to like clamor around and kind of be like funny, whatever, right? Like they realize that their friend is not in super danger. And so they're, rowdy a little. And then we have Ku who's healing this injury with like radiant magic, with like divine magic a little bit. And then we have Sage like kind of putting things together while she's analyzing this tree and being like, what the fuck would do this to a tree? Even though Sidaran is a very large person, like the damage to this tree is crazy and very specific reasons. And she's like, what the fuck? Like she asks Sidaran, like, does this creature have horns? Like what would cause this? And Sidaran's like, no, it was dark, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any horns. So, just little things like that. Like I really enjoy this scene, even though it just popped into my head today. Like not like brand new. Like I had basically the idea of like, okay, well they find the first attack on a person isn't like quite successful. Like the person isn't dead, not super injured, doesn't go missing, what have you. It just was attacked by this beast and the beast gets away. So I'm like, okay, like how can I find little ways to like kind of seed in clues here of like what the situation is, different things like that, what things that my characters would learn about the people around them. It is such a fun little scene to think about, and like the construction of the scene and like the way things are kind of weaving together. Like this is the way that a scene that is doing multiple things should feel, and I kind of love that. Like not only are we getting an interesting look at like what happened to Sidaran and like them as a character, like the situation's interesting, and like they're kind of Sage is looking at the tree and Lara and Ku are looking at the wound and what have you. And then we're also getting like interactions with character, and on the way there we're getting more interactions with Rosetta, who is a character that we meet really early on in the Anchorage parts of this book. And Rosetta is a very angry character. She does not trust the walkers at all. She does not like the walkers at all for multiple reasons. But she's also just so fiercely protective of her people that is like the number one reason why she's like this. And Sage clocks it immediately, right? Like she's like, you know what? You're fine. I like you. And like we like you, and the other people, the Ku and Lara are like, no, we don't really like you that much. And then Sage is like, you're not fucking helping me. I'm gonna make my point right now. Like she's just like, I love Sage so much as a character. It's so fun to explore her as a character a little bit more and like see how she handles these different situations. And like I didn't know that she was going to be squeamish over like wounds like this until I wrote this scene, and I was like, oh, you know what, she's squeamish. Like she's not going to look at this wound and give like this incredible description of it. It's going to be this like, she kind of glances at it, is disgusted, sees a flash of white that could be bone, and immediately turns away because she can't handle that, right? Like she gets so nauseous over it. And I'm like, that's great. This is the thing. Like normal people would feel this way over wounds. Like this makes sense. Just because she's like an adventurer or a hero or whatever doesn't mean that she automatically has to be okay with terrible wounds. Like no, Ku, yeah, because he's a healer and he has been like a soldier type of healer, like not on the front lines, but like that level of stuff. So he's seen pretty grisly shit. And Lara has caused pretty grisly shit. So like she's fine with it. I love actually getting to talk about my story at the end of this vlog because I needed to beef this up a little bit, but I'm having such a great time with this scene and it came out of me so nicely, which kind of ties to that conversation we had earlier that like it has been so long since the scene has just poured out of me, like since the words have just poured out of me. This one did. And it helped having the scene like partially written and planned in my notebook. So I'm definitely going forward with a lot of that more now. Like I do mention it in my writing vlog, but I have been planning out the scenes a lot more before actually executing them because I have the outline, I have the timeline for when they're in Anchorage and like the timeline of this book, but I don't have like a scene by scene breakdown of what happens. I just have scene beats kind of vibe. I don't have like the details of every scene. So when I go to write a scene, I think about it for a second. I go, okay, what's going to happen in the scene? And that is helping me so much because there's something so nice about writing by hand. I've been loving it. I've been loving writing by hand and doing the scenes by hand, like planning them, literally doing up here, like wrote Sage's POV in the top corner here, wrote some jot note stuff of like what's happening, who's in it, who got attacked, where, when. When is this scene happening? You know, it's at like 4 a.m. They were found by the baker named Isla or Isla, pronunciation up to the reader, and like different things that I wanted to do. And then I wrote myself a reminder after that. Like I was like, okay, like this is kind of what I want to do with this scene. Like this scene specifically is a lot of like first choices, first big clues, like what is going on, what is happening, and then like a little thing that I wanted to add in to like thread in more villagers that are around to just kind of keep the mystery alive of like what's actually going on. Like it's a very straightforward scene. They're woken up by Rosetta. They go to where Sidarin was attacked. They talk to Sidarin and they heal their wound. But it's also this moment of like, okay, well, Sidarin was also a little drunk, so like they might not have noticed anything, and it was dark. It's in the middle of the night. All sorts of shit. Like, right, you're getting all this information, but you're not getting like clear what happened for sure. All you know is that they were attacked by a creature and they didn't quite see what it looked like. But the pirates on this island are very, very adamant that this creature is a wolf-like creature. It's like that from the beginning because I guess they've seen it in flashes and whatever. But up to this point, it has been very cowardly, where it has not, like cowardly or cautious, I guess is the right word for it, because it has not gone into the village as of yet. It has only ever stolen livestock from the farms outside of the village, or on the outskirts of it, I guess. And it has never attacked a person. Whenever someone has arrived or appeared, that creature vanishes. Like, it runs away. So it's like, fuck. It now attacked somebody. Like, something is changing, you know? So, I don't know. I really like this scene, and I just wanted to talk about it with you guys because it made me very happy to write so much of it today. I still have some of it left to go, and I'm excited to explore more of that. But I reached a moment where I just completely like a wall, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna stop writing now. I'm gonna take out my headphones and just like focus on other stuff for a moment. But anyways, my friends, that brings us to the end of this vlog. I really hope you enjoyed watching, despite it being kind of an not very entertaining weekend. I didn't really do much. I read 170 some pages of Unending by Ivy's Husband, which I will be finishing probably tomorrow because I do want to finish it before the end of March. I would have liked to read it today, but alas, my writing overtook that, and the project that I was working on took a little bit longer than I anticipated. So I traded that off for making dinner and then writing. So that's totally fine. I don't mind. Tomorrow we'll finish Unending and then have one more book done in March, which will make it 8 books in March, which will be the highest number of books I've read in a month so far this year. We read 6 in January, 7 in February, 8 in March, only going up from here. Anyways, my friends, I will catch you in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.